a law of nature, a daily basis, how to lead a life, right? So in terms of from once you wake up in the morning till you go to bed, how you lead a life. So the Buddha's teaching, rather than the, let's say, the philosophy, the moral values of life, and the teaching of the Buddha's teaching itself is called transformation of one's mind. Then rather than having a kind of like a blind faith, it's more important to be practical and realistic. So as I've told you last time, in the earlier times before the science came, during the Christian era, before that, it's more of like shamanist practiced, praying to the wind, praying to the sun, praying to the water, like that. Then comes a philosophy. Then talks about the God and all these things, the metaphysics. Then later on, they forget about the matter. Then they give more importance to the physics, which means they give more importance on the science. Then, as the time passed by, people showing more trust to the science rather than what they don't see. Oh, there's a heaven. Oh, there's a hell. If you do this, you will born in heaven. If you do that, you will born in hell, like that. So the people now these days, the youngsters, what do they say is neoliberalism. They are going further from the religion. And most of the people, especially the youngsters, what do they think is it's the religion who creates all these problems. So we don't need religion. What we need is what do they call it? Neoliberalism. I don't care about the God. I don't care about the next life. I don't care about the sin and all these things. What I care about is to have a good, the meaningful life, right? So that's why no matter whether it's in a Christian society, no matter whether it's in a Buddhist society, Hindu society, the youngsters, they are getting away from the religious, the society. And less they are coming to the temple, to the mosque, or to the church, thinking it's the religion who creates all these problems. But in reality, if we think and if we introspect, it's not the religion who creates all this problem. It's the politicians. And what do they do is for their own personal gain. So they mix the politics and they bring the politics for their own personal gain. And the youngsters, rather than blaming on these politicians, we blame on the religion as a general. So that's why they think that the religion is the one who creates all this problem. In the religion, they talk about love, compassion, kindness, everything, right? The moral values. So that's why His Holiness always says the religion and the politics, they can't go together as a general, as a country as a whole. That's why His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave up his power. He was the spiritual and temporal leader both from the politics and from the religion, the leader. Now he gave up his own political power to the prime minister. While he keeps on saying, I being a person who totally against the religion and the politics, I was the one like who keeps on against that a country can't go together with the religion and politics. Why? Because in a society, in a country, we have believers, non-believers. Among the believers too, like the Creator, and who don't believe in the Creator. So His Holiness always says, as a country, politics and religion can't go together. But as an individual, politics and religion should go together. Why? Because, if I tell lie, it's not good. If I take a bribe, it's not good. If I cheat, It's not good. So the religion is the one who teaches you the moral values, right? So it else tells us not to indulge in these bad things as an individual. So knowing all these things, first try to, rather than believing on one person, we should use our own logic. First try to listen, then try to understand, then try to realize. And to whom and from whom we should listen to. Then what do we say is the four reliances. Don't listen, don't judge to the person, judge to his words. Don't judge to his words, judge to the meaning. Don't judge to the meaning literally, just listen to the essence like that. So trying to be practical and realistic. So far in the West, like not only in the West, now these days in the East too, what we are thinking is everything is perfect. Nothing is going to happen to me. When we watch the news for the first time of the coronavirus, when it's happened in the China, we were thinking that, oh, in China it's happening like this, or in China it's happening like that. And we were thinking that nothing will happen to me. So it's a high time that what we say is harsh reality is better than false hope. Oh, nothing will happen to you, nothing will happen. So in Tibetan, what do we say? Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right? So and in the East, no, in the West, to talk about aging, sickness, dying, impermanence, all these are kind of like a taboo, right? Now, by this coronavirus, what do they say? It didn't break the system, it reveals the system. We were thinking everything is going on perfect and perfect. Now it is revealed that no one is ready, right? No one is ready. And we were making like nuclear bombs, arms and ammunitions to kill the other enemies. Now this coronavirus doesn't have any enemy, right? Goes everywhere, right? So like it's so strange. So we have to come out of these things, be practical, and try to be realistic. And taught us that no one is perfect and no one is ready. And we all are equal and interdependent.
Geshe, can I ask you something about purpose and meaning? When we talk about, or when you teach us on, like if we go to the meaning of life, and I remember the one time there in Dharamsala, we asked the one hermit who lives there above Tushita, what is the meaning of his life? And he said to be a good person and just to be nice to everybody, and to make sure that he doesn't make the world a worse place, that he's nice to the world, something like that. But for us in the Western, on a conventional level, we grow up and we are taught we must have careers, and we must do some business, or we must have a profession, and we must have a job, and we must work hard at that job. So on a conventional level, we are conditioned to discover meaning through the things that we do and the way that we interact with the world. And sometimes when I listen to you saying that or not you, but when I listen to a teaching that says the meaning of life is to be happy.
Yes.
So, but surely for us, we can't just we can't go and live in a forest and live in as a hermit and just try and be happy with the internal world. We hear that you say that we must cultivate the internal world, and the happiness comes from the internal world. But yet every day we live in the outside world. We have to go to school. We have to take our kids for jobs. So for us, meaning cannot only be our internal world. We have to balance it with the external world. Can you comment on that?
Last time we discussed about the Eightfold Path, right? The Eightfold Path. So first one is right understanding and right knowledge. And with the right understanding that what is my role, right? So as for a student, try to study well. And as for a businessman, not trying to cheat the customers by making lots of profit, right? Like mutual profit. And as a serviceman, to the government, try to go there, they work and go there in time and help to the needy people as much as they can. And as for a teacher, trying to teach to the student, not thinking that my duty is to teach, and also need to understand I have to think about the children's the future lives and all these things with the understanding what my role is, right? I can hear the siren. If it's a nighttime in the middle of the night, I might think that some like wolves are howling.
Yeah, we can't hear it. You're back in the forest in the Himalayas.
Then comes right intention, right? With the right intention, when comes first the right knowledge, then right intention. Once you understand what my role is, then we can build up the intention. So in the West, it's more now these days in India too, in the metropolitan cities, it's more of like red race, the competition. I have to be the best, right? I have to be the top. Otherwise, the people they will crush me like an ant. So with the understanding of Eightfold Path, right, and with the understanding of the six perfections, right livelihood, right speech, and all these things, even if you use the words to someone else, right mindfulness, right effort. So when it comes to the right effort, not thinking of like when there's a sense of competition, the constructive and destructive. Constructive, helping oneself and trying to improve oneself. And destructive, no matter what, I will make sure that I will defeat others like that. Then you will look down upon others. Then the race will become ugly, right? So yes, it's important with the inner world and the outer world happiness. Then when we talk about the happiness, some of the people what they think is if I get on the top, then I'll be the happiest. And if I get the most money, I'll be the happiest. But in reality, when we forget about the others' happiness, we won't become happy, right? When we have the sense of the others' well-being true, then you will also become happy. So that's why last time we talked about foolish selfishness and wise selfishness. Foolish selfishness, I, my, mine. Then in the end, you will get heart attack, right? Then as for the other, the wise selfishness, not only thinking about oneself, thinking about also others, right? So yes, when we have all these things, the happiness comes from the others, right? So in terms of the happiness, when we say the happiness means the satisfaction. When His Holiness was asked, what does the happiness means to you? And happiness means satisfaction, right? So satisfaction comes a contentment and all these things. So when okay, now I have got all these. I have all that. Now it's important to think about the others too, others' well-being, sharing and caring, and sharing too, not in terms of like, oh, conditional. It should be unconditional love, right? The exemption for the tax and thinking the others will think that I'm so good and generous and I'm helpful, then it won't help. You won't get a happiness. As I've told you earlier, the last time, all the actions should be unconditional. Then you will be happy, mentally and physically.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just thinking that you are not saying that it is wrong to be successful at business and to be successful. It is the attitude and the intention. And according to the Eightfold Path, how do you measure yourself? That is more the issue.
Yes, and also in terms of the ego too. Ego, normally what do we say is ego is bad, right? But ego too, they are constructive and destructive. Ego in a constructive way, oh, I can do this, I can do that for the benefit of all the sentient beings, right? So at that time, this is good ego. Then that too without unconditional. And the other destructive ego, yes, I can do this, I can do that. Then on the name of this, then using others, right? Look, I'm doing this for the society, man. Huh? So conditional, it comes a conditional. Then I did it, right? When something goes right, so it's an innate nature. I did it. We forget about the other's contribution. When something goes wrong, what do we say? I told them not to do it, but they didn't listen to me. So, yes, it happened. That. So we are ready to pinpoint to the others, right? So as long as we live on the righteousness, on the Eightfold Path, right? Sometimes the competition, as I've told you earlier, it makes a healthy competition, right? Constructive, healthy competition in a sense, it helps you to improve oneself. So let's say if I'm making a milk, right, with only one milk product, then another neighbor started making a milk, started doing a milk, doing a business of milk. Then I will try to do is milk with what do you call it? The fat comes with another product. Milk without the fats, like that. 50-50, like that. So when the competition is there, then also it helps it to improve the product. But what they are doing, what they are producing, like with knowing all these things, then I try to improve myself, my business. Then I can't stay the product that I used to produce, right? So it helps to the society, and also it helps to oneself. Then no matter what we do, even a housewife, right? So last time when my father comes in, my father used to ask my mom, like, what did you do for the whole day? Huh? And my mom used to say, oh, I didn't go to rest for the whole day. I've been doing lots of walk. And I was wondering what kind of walk she's been doing. Like, everything is still there. Huh? Then one day, like for nearly 3 weeks, my dad, mom, brother, and sister-in-law, they all went to Bodh Gaya for a pilgrimage. Then I was alone. Then first thing first, I have to take the dog for the pee and to clean the trash. Then do the prayers, offering, and all these things. Then make a breakfast. It's already 8, 9, right? Despite waking up at like 6 in the morning. Then do the laundry. Then, it's a time to make a lunch. You make a lunch. Then go and get the clothes and pack it, fold it. It's already 2. Then, like in English, we have to drink the evening tea. Then they make the tea, and again take back the offering bowls and read some books and do some cleaning. Again, take the dog for the loo, for the pee. Then come back. It's a dinner time. You make a dinner, it's already 8. Then once you finish, it's almost like 9:30, 10. And if I think back what I did for the whole day, yeah, I've been doing something for the whole day. I didn't get a time to rest. But I have nothing to show. It went for like 3 days. Then I called to my mom. Mom, I salute you. Now I realize that's you keep on saying, I didn't get a time to take a rest. Now I realize why you are saying so, right? Then it reminds me of James Brown's song. Do you know the James Brown song? This is man's world. It's nothing without a woman or a girl. And I called to my friends, and I said, like, hats off to all the housewives. And what she said, you are lucky, Damchoe, you don't have 2 kids. At that time, she has got like 2 kids, one 5-year-old and like 2 or 3 months baby. Then I said, yeah. So whatever we do, even if, let's say, like let's say a guest comes to your house, and when you prepare the food, oh no, the mic has brought some more guests, I have to make the food, oh no, like that. If you complain, like, but still we have to make the food, right? Oh, by making this food, it may help them for their health, for the benefit of their health, and it may help them to live a life long, like that. It's how you think, right? How you think. If we complain, the food won't also be not. Food won't become a tasty food, right? Even though we are good in cooking. So it's how we think. So no matter in a daily life, whatever we do, so it's just a think positive. That's why we say positive thinking helps to the healthy body, right? So it's not necessary that prayer means just sit in one room and do the prayer and do the meditation, right? It's not like this. So, like, even if you serve the food, even if you serve the tea, and let's say like a water, by thinking, may this water quench his thirst or quench her thirst, it will benefit for his life, like that. It will also become practice, right? It's not necessary that practice should be done only in the church, only in the monastery. So wherever you go, you can do practice.
Yeah. Geshe, we've got a question here. Beth, do you want to ask your question? Geshe, she's got a question. How do you show compassion to somebody who's depressed, who clings to you for support? This person calls every day and sometimes a few times a day, wanting to talk for hours and hours. And then this person will get angry if you make any suggestions. I mean, I think the question, Beth, is to how do you still stay compassionate to such a person who just drains you by clinging to you the whole day for some kind of support?
Continually. Gone through a lot of losses. It lost a spouse and a dog and has all kinds of things going on and needs help desperately. But he's draining this friend of mine. Just, what do you do? What would you suggest to do?
So first, rather than thinking that I am the person to solve the problem, right? First, just try to put your feet into their shoes, right? And try to see from that perspective point of view, rather than my perspective point of view. Why? Because every angle has a different look, right? So what she sees and may not interest us, and what we see may not interest them. So sometime, let's say, during the Buddha's period, when a prince, when he murdered his own father and mother, and he realized that what he has done was wrong. He went to commit suicide, right? And Buddha said, what are you doing? And the prince said, I want to commit suicide. Why? Because I killed my own father and mother. And what the Buddha said, yes, you did the right thing, that you killed your father and mother. Why? Because they are subject to kill. And the prince thought, oh, the Buddha said this, like, so I think I've done a right thing. So what he did was, then he didn't commit suicide. Then once he become cool down, then he realized, the Buddha said this just to save me. At that time, if the Buddha reacted like, what a scoundrel fellow, it's a great shame, and you are a great sinner that you have killed your mother and father. So it's indirectly, it seems like the Buddha is instigating him to commit suicide, right? So like the first one that I've told you, that the four reliances, don't judge to the person, judge to his words. Don't judge to the words, judge to the meaning. Not only to the meaning literally, but to the essence. Like the same way, that too, like we have to understand first. And second, we should have a tolerance and the patience. The work of the patience, it always gives a sweet heart, right? The sweet result. Like the same way, last time when one of my own, the classmate, his wife's mother passed away, and she is thinking that I'm the one, and like if I haven't insisted my mom to travel, she could have lived like that. She couldn't have died. So she is taking her blame for herself. And in the beginning, she's talking about committing suicide and all these things. And told me, my husband is not ready to listen to me. And for the husband, every time it's the same word, the same topic for him. And he's quite fed up with it. And she started calling me. And as for me, I used to listen for 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, not for a week, almost a month, right? So, like, it looks like I am wasting my time, right? But on the other hand, I'm saving someone's life, right? How to think and how to live a life. Why? Because there are lots of people, as I've told you earlier, that what they think is what I'm doing is right. And sometimes they don't have people to share the views. And when you share your views, what they will think, and if you just try to talk something opposite, they will feel angry, right? Especially if you are, let's say, if you're a nurse and if you have experience with a patient who has, what do you call it, psychosis, right? So the patient, when they were given a strong medication, it will affect the brain, right? And also the people who has, what do they call it, Alzheimer, right? And ones who with, and also, Alzheimer, yes. And yeah, the other one, I forgot. So anyway, so the attendant, if he doesn't have, or if he or she doesn't have a very strong, what do you call it, the love, compassion, and the tolerance and the patience, you will give up on the very second day. Why? Because the patient with the psychosis and the Alzheimer's and all these things, despite doing lots of good things, still they will complain, you are not doing anything. You didn't give me the food. And if you say, I gave you the food. And they're not saying deliberately, they have got a mental problem, effects of the medicine. And you say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to not to serve you. I forgot. And they will also cool down. Okay, like that. So these kind of people, they becomes like a children, like a children. So for them, what we need to do is we need to go with the flow. Whatever they say, yes, I'm so sorry. You are doing great job, like that. Oh, you see, I see two people, and you shouldn't have to counter react, right? Like, oh, there's no two people, there's only one people. How you can say that? So, so what we need is patience and tolerance. Why? Because they are not doing deliberately, and we don't know the inner world, right? What they are going through. So it will take a time. It will take a time. Like my friend, now she is in Switzerland and with her husband. Now she never talks of her mother. So sometimes, right? So it will take time. It's not a kind of like with one sweep, everything will get cleared off. It will take a time. So whatever they say, don't try to counter react, right?
Geshe, there's another question here. Somebody's saying, so they're trying to be a good person and they're trying to be compassionate. They're trying to do the right thing, and, make space for everybody and be egoless and so on. But life just seems to be very hard, and so they feel like life is just throwing obstacles the whole time, and they're trying to do the right thing, but it doesn't seem to be going, always, the right way. So how can such a person, just re-energize themselves to get the courage and the the energy to carry on the path?
As I've told you earlier, the inner life, inner life, hope, aim, expectation shouldn't be always together at the same bar. Always keep your expectation very low, right? So as for the farmers, when they grow a seed, when they grow a plant, when first they sow a seed and put in fertilizers and everything, thinking that now it will grow perfect. No. Why? Because as soon as you turn your head, a crow or like bird might take out the seed, right? And even if it germinates, then due to the weather, due to the climate, it can happen anything, right? So as I've told you earlier, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right? Never ever think that if I do this, this will happen like that. If I do that, it will happen like this. No, it's life itself is impermanence, right? So if you have watched the Siddhartha about the Buddha's life story, in one of that, like when the Siddhartha was born, the sage comes to make a prophecy, and he says, if he becomes a king, he will become king of king. If he become master, he will become master of master. And his father says, first he should become a king like me, and later on he can become like you. And the sage answer was, God always betrays the wishes of immortal man. God betrays the wishes of, God always betrays the wishes of immortal man. Yes. So yes. So life doesn't go as we have expected, right? So that's why I always used to say, if you are religious minded, think that it's a God's will, right? And if you are in an academic, just think that it's a Murphy's law, right? And if you are thinking about the karmas, and think that welcome to the karma cafe. We don't have any menu. You will serve what you deserve, right? Like the same way, but the things that we have done, right? The good things that we have done with the intention, good intention, with a good motivation, is it become useless? No, it hasn't become useless. You have sowed the seed of a happiness, right? So it's a karma. It's very strange. Sometimes so what do we say? These are cognition. So if you do good, result will be good. If you do bad, result will be bad. So it's a very cognitive. Sometimes the people, they say, oh, those people who keep on doing the good things, all the bad things happens to them. And those people who keep on cheating and telling lies, and they're the one who seems like having a success in their life. So yes, it looks like that. But at the same time, we are accumulating a karma, right? So whatever we sow, it's not necessary that it should be produced the result in this very time. It can produce in the next, right? Slow and steady wins the race, right? It takes time. So don't go after the success. Don't go after the success. Just make it capable, right? Once you become capable, then success will come automatically, right? Once you keep on doing the good thing, everyone will get a notice. You will get a notice from everyone, right? So Mother Teresa didn't ask for the people to praise her, but people are praising. Florence Nightingale, they didn't ask people to praise her, but people are praising. So it will take time. It will take time, right? So
Okay.
if you keep on thinking that result will be good like that, then it will become a kind of like conditional. Then it will become very harmful for oneself. So always keep on doing good, that too with the unconditional.
Thank you, Geshe. There's another thing I want to go back to. You spoke earlier about 4 realizations. When somebody says something, you mustn't look at the words, you must look. Can you just repeat that? I haven't heard you talk about that before.
No. So normally, what do we say? Wait a minute. 4 realization, what do we say? Don't judge to the person, judge to his words. Don't judge to his words. Oh, where is it?
When I Google, nothing comes up.
No. As I've told you earlier, everything is not in the Google. Sometimes you have to realize.
I know, that's why we talk to you. You the Google.
What it says, rely on the where is it? Wait a minute, I will show it to you. Wait a minute, I've written on share content. Where is it? The Buddhist philosophy. Yes. Rely on the don't rely on the person. Don't judge to the person, judge to his words. Don't judge to the words, judge to its meanings. Don't judge to the meaning, literally, judge to the essence, like that. So let's say.
So would essence be intent?
The real meaning, real meaning of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If you
drunkard father might say, son, don't drink, it's so bad for your health, like that. As a person, he's a drunkard, right? But his words are meaningful and it's helpful. So normally, when we go and listen, we judge to the person. Oh, is he a VIP? Oh, is he a great scholar? What, like that. Oh, does he look good? Does she look beautiful? Like that. We judge to the outer appearance, right? And we don't judge to his words. So that's why the Shandideva, what he said, the one who wrote the Bodhicitta Avatara, what he said, the person who's looking for nice words, nice phrase, it won't help to you. Why? Because he's very straightforward.
So if you can find that and send it to me, it'll be really nice if I will share it with the group, because I think I've got it. It's the person, the words, the meaning of those words, and the essence or the intent.
Yes.
But
I will send it to you.
Thank you. Then, Geshe, I thought, I don't know if this is appropriate to ask you, but sometimes so what we're doing here is we're discussing logically and cognitively, we're trying to understand something. So we're trying to make sense by listening to words with our minds. But sometimes when we hear a chant or a mantra, it has an effect on us that is beyond words. It is something we cannot interpret with our minds. I've thought of asking you, would it be possible, even if you just read us a mantra in Tibetan, or like a chant almost, I don't know if it's okay for me to ask you that, because sometimes those things are it's got a very powerful effect on me and some other people. Is that possible?
No. I think I should call Nightingale. So that you will get infatuated with the nightingale, the sound. Normally, difference between the animal and the we human being. So especially like the parrots, the parakeet. The parakeets, if we teach how to recite a mantra, they will recite Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. So they will recite Om Mani Padme Hum. But now, as for we human being, last time we have discussed about the Om Mani Padme Hum, what does it mean? So as for we human being, we can use the wisdom. What does Om Mani Padme Hum means? Why I'm reciting this? And how many letters in it? So we have to use the logic. Otherwise, without thinking, it will become like a parakeet. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. So we need to, as I've told you earlier, physical practice, verbal practice, and mental practice. Physically, I'm present in the monastery. I'm present in the prayer room, like that. Then mentally, verbally reciting. Then mentally thinking, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Arabhajanati. So what's the mantra? The mantra that I'm reciting, it's whose mantra? Avalokiteshvara's mantra. Oh, who's Avalokiteshvara? Oh, he is a manifestation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama is the manifestation of the Avalokiteshvara. And who's the Avalokiteshvara? Avalokiteshvara is the Lord of compassion. And he is the embodiment of Buddha's love, like that. Then, how many Avalokiteshvara are there? And why he is called as the Lord of compassion, like that? Thinking, contemplating. So, which means I'm doing physical, verbal, mental practice, all one at a time, right? So, when we go to the church, or whatever be in the temple, or whatever, wherever we go, that's it. So we have done a competition with a robot, right? Who read faster? Who can read faster? But we didn't try to understand who have understood what I've read. So being a human, wherever we go, the right understanding, then right intention, right? Then right effort. So otherwise, When we go to the church, when we go to the monastery, oh, today is a Sunday, I have to go for the services. Oh, today is a Friday, I have to go to the synagogue, like that. Then it becomes it's good, but it has become a kind of like a tradition and culture, and you won't have the happiness that you go over there, right? So we should have all these reasons. So that's why the knowledge, we have to use the wisdom. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, what he said was that when you are in the Chinese prison, and when you recite the Om Mani Padme Hum like that, then the Chinese guard, they might force you not to recite it, right? Then you can recite it with the different tones. Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. And the Chinese army, they might think that, oh, you are singing a song, but in reality, you're reciting a mantra. So by reciting all these things, right? Reciting all these things with slowly, then trying to contemplate, visualize, like that, right? So it will help. So the most common mantra is Om Mani Padme Hum. And if you are interested in this, on 29th and 30th of May, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama is going to give the initiation, empowerment on the Avalokiteshvara, the Lord of Compassion. So before he starts giving the empowerment and initiation, he will give a preliminary teaching. So the preliminary teaching is how to make up one's mind and how to lead a life. It's very important, and it will help us to think in a better way. So it's up to you whether you want to listen or not, right? So it's Avalokiteshvara's mantra. Oh, like in Taiwan, like they started making Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. Then other one, Om Mani Padme, like that. So, Om, speech, body, mind, which is impure. Mani, the precious jewel, talks about the method, compassion. Padme talks about the wisdom, the emptiness. With the help of emptiness, wisdom, and the compassion, I should clarify and purify the speech, body, mind, which is impure. And once it's getting from impure to pure, then it's called Hum, Ha, U, Ma. Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. Then contemplating what is speech, body, mind. I'm talking about whom? Myself. So from the speech, I have told lots of lie. I have used the harsh words. I have used the slander words. So I have used the idle gossip. Then from the body, I have killed. Then I have taken the things which is not mine. Then I've entered into the sexual misconduct. Then from the mind, I have the covetousness, malicious thoughts. So these things I have to purify with the help of this one, wisdom and compassion. then it will help me to purify it like that.
Right, thank you. Sure, our time is almost up again. It goes so quickly. Is there a last question from anybody before we finish? Anybody wants to ask something? Yes, Trudy, just a moment. Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Geshe.
La.
Geshe La.
La, no, la
Geshe
means,
Damchoe.
la means also yes.
Geshe Damchoe, I want to ask you the mantra Tare Tare Ture Soa. What's the meaning of that?
It's Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. It's Green Taras mantra,
Green Tara.
but I don't know what's the meaning of Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. I read like a parrot. So as for us, in a sense, as for me, I try to recite the mantra, but I don't try to go in depth what's the meaning of it like that. Maybe I can ask to someone else and I can let you know.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you, Geshe.
Question?
Normally in the West, you are not allowed to say, I don't know, right? You have to know everything. But His Holiness says, if he doesn't know, he says, be practical. If you don't know, you say, I don't know. I will come with the answer later. So like the same way, I don't know.
Can I quickly ask something? I always thought it's a
Yes.
silly question, but now I think I can ask it. So, I mean, you studied to become a Geshe, but Classy calls you Geshe La, and you told Trudy to call you Geshe La. So what does the La add to Geshe?
Geshe La, it's more like calling you in an honorific way, like Trudy sir, Tony madam, like that. So
Okay.
the Indians, they call it G, Tashi G, Geshe G, like that. So La and yes, like that.
Okay, so it's to make it more formal.
Yeah, more formal. Like normally, when the American students, when they comes to India, and also you will also experience these things, especially when you go to India. The vendors who sells the things, what they will call you, hello sir, come in my shop. Hello madam, come in my shop. I have this, I have that. And the students from America, they always used to tell me that it's a privilege to be in India. They call us sir and madam. Once we go back, they will start calling us, hey, you. No one will call us, hey, madam. Madam and sir like that. So it's more like a formal.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Geshe La. Thanks for your time again. It was very special as always.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So in the next class, we will discuss more on the meditation.
Okay, that sounds good.
Right.
Good. We'll do that.
In the next class, we'll do meditation.
Great. Thank you very much. Tuchiche. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
And in Africa, in the news, it's saying now it's started spreading. So be careful.
Yeah. Yes.
Be careful.
We will.
Be safe.
Yeah, we will.